This Minecraft Bedrock raid farm is simple and efficient. It automatically produces a ton of great loot such as emeralds, totems of undying, and enchanted books. For this farm, you'll need 10 chests, 5 hoppers, 1 rail, 1 minecart with hopper, 3 water buckets, 1 lava bucket, 1 soul sand, 1 cobblestone wall, 1 bed, 14 signs, 8 glass blocks, 1 lever, 4 pistons, 4 observers, 4 redstone torches, some vines. By the way, you can get vines by mining them with shears. 55 kelp, 1 trident. By the way, the trident can have any level of durability because it will never break in this farm. 45 glass panes, 1 empty locator map, about 14 stacks of solid blocks that don't burn. A couple examples of solid blocks that don't burn are smooth stone or cobblestone. And finally, about 9 stacks of leaves. You can get leaves by mining them with shears. The first step is to find a pillager outpost. The pillager outpost should be at least 100 blocks away from any village. Then go to the top floor of the pillager outpost. Now kill any pillagers that are up here. After you have done that, break any chest that is up here. Now place a glass pane at each of these spots. These glass panes will allow you to find the pillager spawn spot that is up here. After you're done placing those glass panes, back up about 30 blocks from the pillager outpost. Then wait for pillagers to spawn in the glass panes. If after waiting for a while pillagers don't spawn in the glass panes, try switching your world difficulty to peaceful and then to hard. If you don't want to do that, another option is to kill all the pillagers in the nearby area, then go back about 30 blocks from the farm. Once you see pillagers spawn in the glass panes, go over here. Then break all the glass panes except for the 4 that are surrounding the pillagers. The spot where the pillagers are standing is the pillager spawn spot. The next step is to find the southeast block of the pillager spawn spot. To do that, first open an empty locator map. Then position yourself so that your arrow is pointing towards the top of the map. This direction is north. Then turn so that the arrow is pointing towards the right side of the map. This direction is east. Now turn so that the arrow is pointing towards the bottom of the map. This direction is south. Since this direction is south and this direction is east, I know the southeast block of my pillager spawn spot is over here. Once you have identified the southeast block of the pillager spawn spot, replace it with a different solid block. It's really important that you mark that spot correctly. Then break the other 3 blocks that are under the glass panes. Now break the blocks that are surrounding the glass panes. Then place a solid block at each of these spots. The next step is to go to the bottom of the pillager outpost. Then cover all ground within about 3 blocks of the pillager outpost with leaves. These leaves will prevent pillagers from spawning outside the farm. Once you're done placing leaves around the pillager outpost, break all the blocks of the pillager outpost. This will make it easier for you to build the farm. Once you're done with that step, the farm should look like that. Now fill in this area with leaves. Once you're done with that step, the farm should look something like that. The next step is to kill any pillagers that are stuck between these glass panes. Then break the glass panes. Now place 3 blocks over here and extend this wall around this area. Once you have done that, place a glass block over here. It's really important that you place that glass block 1 block above that block. This glass block will push pillagers that spawn over here down there. Now place leaves at each of these spots. The next step is to go down here. Then place 3 blocks over here. Now extend that wall around this area. Once you have done that, place 4 blocks over here. Then go up here. Now break these 3 blocks. At this point, place a cobblestone wall over here. Then place a block at each of these spots. After you have done that, place a block at each of these spots as well. Now place 2 signs over here. Then place water at this spot. As you guys can see there, that water should flow like that. The next step is to place 2 blocks over here. Now place a block at each of these spots. This will be where a bubble column is created later. The next step is to go to this spot. It should be the spot next to that water. Then place 2 leaves over here. Then place leaves from here to the ground. After you have done that, place vines over here. Then place 26 more leaves over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After you have placed those 26 leaves, go down here. Then place vines from here to the top of this pillar. The next step is to place 1 leaf block over here and 2 leaves over here. Then make sure you're facing this part of the farm. Then place 6 leaves over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then fill in this outline with leaves. Once you have done that, place a piston at each of these spots. Make sure those pistons face the correct directions. Then place a redstone torch at each of these spots. Now place an observer at each of these spots. Make sure the top arrow of each observer faces the correct direction. Once you have done that, the farm should look like that. The next step is to throw a trident at that piston. By the way, the trident can have any level of durability because it will never break in this farm. Then place a lever over here and flick it down. Once the pistons stop moving, flick it up. As you guys can see there, that should cause the pistons to move around infinitely. That will be the trident killer in this farm. It will automatically kill all the mobs. Now flick this lever down to shut the trident killer off. Then place a block at each of these spots. The next step is to place a solid block at each of these spots. Then place 4 glass blocks over here. Now place 3 blocks over here, 1 over here, and 3 over here. Then place 3 glass blocks like this. After you have done that, go to this side and place a solid block at each of these spots. Then go to the back and place a block at each of these spots. Finally, go to this side and place a block at each of these spots. The next step is to go over here. Then count down 4 blocks from this spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now place 2 leaves over here, and 4 leaves over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then crouch down and place 2 chests over here. Now crouch down and place a hopper at this spot. Make sure the nozzle of that hopper is pointing downwards towards that chest. Then crouch down and place a rail over here. By the way, it does not matter what direction the rail is facing. Then place a minecart with hopper over here. Now place leaves at each of these spots. It's really important that the minecart with hopper is under one of the 4 blocks of the trident killer floor. Now count 4 blocks down from this spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place 2 leaves over here, and 4 leaves over here. Then break these leaves. Now crouch down and place 2 hoppers over here. Now crouch down and place 2 chests over here, and 2 on this side as well. Then crouch down and place 2 hoppers over here. Make sure the nozzles of those hoppers are pointing downwards. Then crouch down and place 2 chests over here, and 2 over here as well. By doing that, this farm will be able to store more loot at a time. Then crouch down and place leaves at each of these spots. Now place a solid block at each of these spots. Then build up 18 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After you are done placing those 18 blocks, go down here. Then place 18 blocks at each of these other spots as well. After you are done with that step, the farm should look like that. The next step is to place 3 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3. Then go to this side. Now place 3 blocks over here. Then fill in the outline with solid blocks. Once you have created that platform, place 8 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then extend this 8 block high wall around this platform. After you're done placing those blocks, place leaves over here. These leaves will prevent raid mobs from spawning on this area. Then go down here. Now place 4 blocks over here. Then place 1 sign over here and crouch down and place 2 signs over here. Then break these 2 blocks. Now crouch down and place 3 signs over here. Then crouch down and place 3 signs over here. Now crouch down and place 2 signs over here. Then place a sign at this spot. It's important that you place those signs correctly. At this point, place lava over here. As you guys can see there, that lava should flow like that. That lava will kill all the ravagers in this farm. Then place water over here. That water will push all the raid mobs that spawn up here down there. At this point, go down here. Then place a leaf block at each of these spots. Then place solid blocks from here to the top. Place them up to this height. After you're done with that step, the farm should look like that. The next step is to place a block at each of these spots. Then place water over here. As you guys can see there, that water should flow like that. Then go down here. Now place kelp from here to the top. This kelp will turn all the water into water source blocks. That will allow the bubble column to flow all the way to the top. Once you have placed that kelp, go back down to the bottom. Then break the bottom kelp. Then place a block over here and break this block. That should make the water flow like that. Now place soul sand over here. As you guys can see there, that should create a bubble column. This bubble column will push pillagers up here. Now place 3 blocks like this. Then cover this area with leaves. The next step is to place 4 blocks over here, and a leaf block at this spot. The next step is to go out here. Then place leaves at each of these spots. The next step is to temporarily place 8 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then place a block at this spot. Now place a bed over here. After you have done that, place 2 leaves over here, 3 over here, and 1 at this spot. Then place 2 leaves at each of these spots. At this point, bring a villager over here. I am now going to show you all how you can easily do that in survival mode. To do that, first place a boat next to a villager. Then push the villager into the boat and attach a lead to the boat. Now walk over to the farm. At this point, climb the vines. As you guys can see there, the villager should follow you up here. Once you get up here, place some more blocks until you get up to that bed. Once the villager is dangling over there, go down here. Then detach the lead from the boat. Then place some blocks around this area. Once you have done that, break the boat and push the villager in there. At this point, wait for it to turn nighttime. Once it turns nighttime, it should sleep in that bed. If your villager does not sleep in that bed, try breaking all beds at the village or villager breeder you got the villager from. Then place 2 leaves over here. It's really important that you place those leaves at the correct spots. Once it turns daytime, the villager's head should be stuck in that leaf block. Now break all blocks that you placed to get the villager in there. After you have done that, make sure you break these blocks. It's really important that you create this leaf villager enclosure correctly. That will ensure that no raid mobs spawn on the bed. By having a villager linked to a bed over there, this area is designated as a village. That will allow raids to spawn once you get the bad omen effect. I'm now going to do a quick fly around so you can check and make sure I've made this raid farm correctly. Down here, there should be this spawning chamber. Make sure the water flows like that. Over here, there should be the bubble column. By the way, make sure there's an empty spot over here for the water to flow. This water will push pillagers into the bubble column. Up here, there should be this lava and that water. Over here, there should be the villager chamber. Finally, down here, there should be the trident killer and collection system. I am now going to show you all how to use this farm. To use it, first flick this lever up and stand over here. Then wait. Pillagers will spawn at the pillager spawn spot, then get pushed off by the glass block into the water. They will then get pushed into the bubble column and fall into this trident killer. In the trident killer, the pillagers will get automatically killed. Whenever a pillager captain is killed, you can get an ominous bottle. The ominous bottle will get collected by the minecart hopper, funneled into the hoppers, and funneled into the collections chest. Whenever you want to collect ominous bottles, go down here. You can get them from these chests. Once you get an ominous bottle, stand over here and drink it. That will give you the raid omen effect because this area is designated as a village. After about 30 seconds, a raid will start. As you guys can see there, a raid is now starting. In this farm, raid mobs will spawn up there. They'll then get pushed by the water stream over to this trident killer. All the raid mobs that fall down here will get automatically killed by the trident killer. You can collect the XP over here and the loot will get funneled down into the collection system. By the way, in this farm, any ravagers that spawn will get killed by the lava up there. That is because they are too big to fit down here. By the way, if you want to make this farm more efficient, you can hold a sword that is enchanted with looting 3. The looting 3 effect will be applied to the trident. This farm is a great quick and easy way to get a ton of loot and XP. As you guys can see there, the raid has been completed. Once you are done using this farm, flick this lever down to shut the trident killer off. You can collect the loot down here. Whenever you want to use this farm again, flick this lever up and drink an ominous bottle while you stand over here. That should cause another raid to start. If this farm does not work for you, try switching your world difficulty to peaceful and then to hard. Also try setting your world simulation distance to 4 chunks. You can do that by leaving your world then going into the world settings. Also try covering any areas where you see raid mobs spawn down there while you're waiting up here with leaves. For example, if you see a structure like this where pillagers spawn while you use the farm, cover the floor of it with leaves. I hope you all enjoyed learning how to make this simple and efficient automatic Minecraft Bedrock raid farm. Please like, comment, subscribe, and check out my other Minecraft videos. Thanks for watching!